Hello, everyone. I'm Sarah Muirhead with National Hog Farmer, and I want to welcome you to the National Hog Farmer Fast Chat. Today, we have with us Dr. Pat Hoffman, veterinarian and swine technical consultant with Elanco Animal Health. Welcome, Dr. Hoffman. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation, Sarah. I really appreciate being on with you today.
Today, we're going to talk about maximizing the tools in your SRD Toolbox, Swine Respiratory Disease Toolbox. So, Dr. Hoffman, there's a variety of swine respiratory disease products that are out there, products and ingredients on the market. Talk to us. How can each of these bring a different value to the table for producers?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think what I'd like to do for the purpose of this podcast is kind of just work through the decision tree that I use mentally when I run into a health challenge on how I might tackle that. And it all starts with there are different kinds of bacteria. There's gram-positive bacteria, there's gram-negative bacteria, there's anaerobic bacteria, and then there's aerobic bacteria. And so each of those bacteria, you need a different kind of weaponry to neutralize them. They're also located in different parts of the body. They're certainly located in the lungs, of course, but also in the brain, in the joints, in the peritoneum, and clearly in the intestines too. And so thankfully we've got different kinds of antibiotics also that work differently. They attack different parts of the bacterial cell. Some attack the cell wall, some are attack the ribosome, and then some work in the nucleus of the cell, which inherently kills the bacterial cell itself. And so different bacteria, different modes of action. And then on top of that, we've got different routes of administration. We've got injectables, we've got water antibiotics we put through the water, and then we have feed grade antibiotics. So really what you're looking for, Sarah, is we need to achieve maximum efficacy of an antibiotic. We need an antibiotic to get where the bacteria are, again, the different parts of the body where they are. We need an antibiotic that gets there in a concentration that is lethal, that is high enough to kill the bacteria. And then we need an antibiotic that has the right weaponry to be able to kill the bacteria. So in a roundabout way, that's what I think about when I'm trying to devise a plan on is it going to be an injectable only? Is it going to be an injectable plus a water grade medication? Or do we need the antibiotic over an extended period of time? So that's kind of where we lean towards the feed grade stuff.
So it kind of sounds like it's important to utilize products with different administration routes. Is that what I'm hearing?
You certainly can. I think so. Here's another rule of thumb that I have. If a pig needs treated like yesterday, then injectable is your option. If you could essentially wait until maybe it's not as acute or not as severe, if it could wait until tomorrow, then we can start our water medication today. If you need to create a treatment plan to become effective, let's say the end of the week or next week, that's where your feed grades are. So it really fits into the timing on how you plug and play. You could say, well, I'm going to treat everything clinical today with an injectable, but I also need to protect the rest of the pigs in that pen. So I'm going to start a water medication tonight. It's got to get through the water line. It's got to be absorbed in the pig. And then it has to be in high enough concentrations within that pig. That'll take 24 hours. It'll take a certain amount of time if they're drinking. So that's just kind of how I go through in my head.
So kind of lots of different options depending on what your needs are, what stage you're at, and how quickly you want to treat. So then how best to analyze that situation? How do you really take a look at it? When do I need to treat? How, what do I use? How do I make those decisions?
Yeah, great question. So a lot of it will come down to the history of the flow. Very rarely do we have something new that just popped up. A lot of times, different flows of pigs will have different histories of things like mycoplasma or a-suis or parasuis or one of the suises, right? Strep suis. And so we'll know that the history. Of course, we always want to have diagnostics to support any kind of antibiotics that we're using. So that may need to be done, but ultimately it'll come down to the acuteness of the morbidity and the mortality. Like, how big is the issue today, and then what do we think it's going to be like tomorrow?
So, key takeaways, key things that you want people to remember from this conversation. What would you say those would be?
I'm just, it was just more of a decision tree process. Work with your veterinarians on finding the right solutions. That changes over time. There's the toolbox is vast, and so we can kind of plug and play different things as we need to.
Nice to have great options, that's for sure. I mean, sometimes it's just you got one option, and if you miss a window, you got trouble. But sounds like we've got a whole different array of options here before us.
Yeah, and that's what's exciting about some of the new stuff that we've got. We've been working on for quite some time. The new injectable antibiotic Elanco has called Predilex. It's really a differentiator in the injectable space. It's really the first new antibiotic innovation we've had as far as an injectable SRD or swine respiratory disease. It's the first new innovation since 2012 that the industry has seen. So we're really excited about it, and it'll be interesting to see exactly where it fits into everybody's treatment program.
Great information, great solutions. Our thanks to you, Dr. Hoffman, for that update.
Thanks.
Dr. Pat Hoffman of Elanco Animal Health. For this edition of National Hog Farmers Fast Chat, I'm Sarah Muirhead.